Hey guys, Taylor here and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you've already been here, thanks for coming back. So in today's video, we are doing something a little bit different. I am going to be doing a full face, but I will only be using products that are like my all-time favorites. So I know that I try new products all the time, so I don't really get to like show you guys what I use when the cameras turn off. So that is what we're going to be doing today. So if you are interested in seeing, then keep on watching. Before we start today's video, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Please turn your post notifications on so you get notified every time your girl uploads a video, and follow me on Instagram. With that being said, let's jump right into the video. All right, y'all, so I did my brows off camera as always. I already primed my lids using my P. Louise base in the shade number 5. I think it's safe to say that this is my favorite eyeshadow base. I don't know, maybe it's because it's the first base I tried. Before this I was just using concealer, so I really like this one. For the eyes, however, this was like super easy to choose an eyeshadow palette. I think if you should look in my makeup collection, this is probably the only palette that I own that by looking at it, especially with certain shades, you can see that it is used and abused. You can actually see a dent in this palette. Love this. So I'm going to use this to create a look today. I'm going to try and use some shades that I haven't really like used much. I didn't even tell you guys what palette I was using, but this is the Jackie Aina X ABH palette, just in case you did not know. I am going to go in with the shade Ginger. That's the first shade I'm using. And I'm using a M573 brush, and I'm taking this into my crease as my transition shade. Alright, y'all, so I'm going to take another M573 brush and I'm going to go in with the shade Edges, and I'm going to be blending that into the crease as well, just to give me some redness, you know? Yes. I could literally do a winged liner and leave the eyes as is, no joke. Like, this palette is something else. This was my first ABH palette. After I got this one, the Amrezy palette came out. I went ahead and I picked that one up, but the formula is just not the same. Yes, I know it's the Jackie formula, but there's just something. The Amrezy one is good, but there's just something with this palette that is just different. Trust me. If they could sell the shade Ginger and the shade Credit as single shadows, trust me, I would re-up. I would definitely, because the shade Ginger is like the perfect transition shade. It is so amazing. This palette is limited edition, but I think it's still available on ABH website and it's on sale. That's the only place you'll be able to get this palette. No, but y'all, it's worth every penny, trust me. Alright, y'all, so I was going to deepen the eyes a little bit more, but I'm not sure as yet, so I'm just going to cut my crease with my P. Louise base, and I'm using the shade number 5 again, and my flat brush from AliExpress. So for the lids, I'm going to be taking the shade Wigglies, and I'm just going to be packing that all over my lids. So what I did after I applied the red shade on my lids, I went in with the shade Supreme on a E17 brush, and I just used that brush to blend that in. I also applied some lashes off camera. For primer, like my most used primer is the Milk Hydro Grip primer or my Too Faced Hangover primer, but I'm out of the Too Faced one, so I'm just going to use my Fenty Beauty Hydrating primer. So for foundation, it was a bit hard because my Fenty Beauty Soft Matte Foundation and my Nars Radiant Longwear Foundation, my two favorite foundations of all time. This is my second bottle of Fenty, and I think for the Nars I am at 3 bottles only because I bought another shade in the Nars, so it's kind of a neck and neck type thing. So I'm just going to mix both of these because y'all know I love to mix my foundation, so I'm going to mix both of these. For Fenty, I'm using the shade 420, and for Nars, I'm mixing the shade Marquises. So I mixed in 2 pumps of each foundation, and I'm going to use my Juno sponge to blend that out. Alright y'all, so foundation is on. For concealer, my Too Faced Born This Way concealer, like this concealer is always in my routine. Even if I'm not using it on my face, I always use this to clean my brows up. So I would say this is like my most used concealer. And my L'Oreal Full Wear concealer, like this is just always there. I use this to brighten like all the time, so I'm going to be using the 2 today. Under the eyes only, I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal concealer. Right, so while my under eyes sit, I'm going to contour the face with my Fenty Beauty Match Stick in the shade Espresso. I know I have been using the new cream bronzers to contour lately, but if we are being honest, like this is my favorite. This is my favorite contour product. Like before cream bronzers, like this was the guy. This was it. So I'm going to use this one time for the one time. And I just warm this up on the back of my hand and then apply it to the face. I'm using my M439 brush to blend this out. I'm going to use my beauty blender to blend my under eyes. So to set the face, this was probably the easiest thing to choose. It was either this or the Fenty Beauty one, but like everybody knows that my Laura Mercier is like my favorite setting powder of all time. So I'm going to be going in with this one and my Real Techniques sponge. So I'm going to set everywhere else, and everybody knows I'm going to go in with my Sephora Micro Smooth Powder in the shade 60 Deep. So for bronzers, it's kind of hard to say most used bronzer of all time, because recently I've been trying a lot of bronzers, but I think if I'm being honest, it would be the Fenty Beauty bronzer, powder bronzer, or the ABH, or what's that one called, CoverGirl Full Spectrum bronzer. But I'm going to use Fenty Beauty just to play it safe, and I'm using the shade Cocoa Naughty to bronze up the face. So I don't think I really have like a most used blush, but if I'm being honest, once again, my ABH blush trio in the shade Cocktail Party is probably my most used blush, because this was kind of what really got me into using blushes. So I'm just going to use this one, and I'm going to mix the two the pink and the orange shade together, and just apply this on my cheeks. So to add a little bit of glow to the skin, I'm going to be using this Becca highlighter in the shade Rose Gold. I think this is probably my most used highlighter. It's either this one, or recently I've been using the NYX High Glass. So yeah. Alright y'all, so I did my under eyes off camera, applied some black eyeliner, and I used the shade Ginger and the shade Edges, and I blend that underneath my eyes, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to set my face with my Too Faced Hangover setting spray. So for lips, I'm going to be doing one of my favorites, nude lip combos. I'm going to be using my Colourpop Bff4 lippy pencil to line. For lipstick, I have this Colourpop lipstick in the shade Quickie. For gloss, y'all already know the drill. My Artist Couture Uncensored 2.0 gloss. Alright you guys, so I went ahead and I fixed my hair off camera, and this is the finished look. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you made it this far in the video, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.